Hello and welcome to the National Security Conversation. It has been 1 year, 12 months since the Government of India, led by the Bharatiya Janata Party, withdrew the special status accorded to the state of Jammu and Kashmir under the Article 370 of the Indian Constitution and divided the then state of Jammu and Kashmir into two union territories. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir has since been governed by a Lieutenant Governor appointed by New Delhi, and it reports directly to the union government. It does not have an elected assembly, nor does it have an elected chief minister. Several major political developments have taken place in Jammu and Kashmir since the August decision of 2019. One such political change stands out and deserves our attention: the creation of a new political party called Apni Party. Apni Party is headed by Mr. Altaf Bukhari, a former minister in the People's Democratic Party and Bharatiya Janata Party coalition government that was in power till August last year. So what is this Apni Party all about, and who is Mr. Altaf Bukhari? And more importantly, what is his politics? To discuss these issues, I am today joined by Mr. Altaf Bukhari himself. Welcome to the National Security Conversation,
Welcome,
Mr. Bukhari.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let me begin with a rather straightforward question. Who is Mr. Altaf Bukhari and what is his politics?
Altaf Bukhari is a common Kashmiri, like 1 crore 30 like other citizens of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. I started my career as an agriculturist, got trained in agriculture. I'm one of the progressive farmers of the state. Ventured into businesses, processing businesses, agro protection businesses. After having established myself into those businesses and the family businesses, we ventured into business throughout the country. I had a passion for public service. And I always thought that this political platform offers you the best platform to serve your people. Per se, I'm not a politician. I wanted to serve people, found this platform good. Had family associations with Mufti Muhammad Saeed Saab. Knew all the politicians of the state by virtue of being one of the successful businessmen in the state. And here I am.
Tell us something about the Apni Party. What is the Apni Party all about? What is its politics? What is its agenda?
August 5, 2019 is a watershed day. If I say that I am not hurt, I will be befooling myself. Or we are not hurt as the residents of Jammu and Kashmir, then I am not representing the sentiments of my people. We are all hurt. This was a nightmare for all of us. It is like a woman being disrobed in public. But what do you do? Life cannot stop. Life has to go on. So, like many other of my colleagues who are politicians, we were all under a protected custody in our own homes. After a month or so, I requested for permission to come to Delhi. I had a checkup with my doctor. I was granted the permission. While in Delhi, I met few friends besides my doctor. And the discussion, like you asked me, what is Jammu and Kashmir like? I expressed my feelings about Jammu and Kashmir, and they said, what is the way forward? I said, back to our state, give us back our state. And Article 370 and 35A had already been challenged by a number of political parties. Let us leave it to the court to decide. But the life has to go on. People's problems had to be addressed. First, I found there were some takers for this, that yes, why not? Went back, there were no telephones, so could not talk to many of my friends. But slowly, first few of us met. Then as we kept on meeting, we felt a need that we should work for the release of other political leaders. So we one day decided to go up to the Lieutenant Governor and request him that release all the political leaders, release people who have been sent outside Jammu and Kashmir, bring them back. Then there were questions like protection of lands, protection of jobs and everything. This in our first memorandum, which was as a group of like-minded people we gave autonomy, restoration of autonomy of J&K Bank, which is an icon for people in Jammu and Kashmir. Then restoration of 4G, youth, release of youth who had been detained. Then it was about the economy, shopkeepers, transporters, industrialists, tourism, everything was a package for them. Horticulture, a package for horticulture, industry, tourism in Jammu as well as Srinagar. Jammu industry was on doldrums. So this was mainly about the issues which were confronting people, day-to-day issues. I will not say they were issues relating to the independence of Jammu and Kashmir or anything else, but day-to-day, because we thought it is our duty to represent for the release of other colleagues so that a process could start, that how do we go ahead. Looking backwards was not an option for me. Looking forward was an option, and we were wanting to go with other people, see what could be done together. Unfortunately, when we met the LG, second day, around 10 or 11 people from the People's Democratic Party who were also a part of that. They were from Congress, they were from National Congress, they were expelled from their party. Till then, there was no thought that we will float a party.
This was when? This was which month?
This was in January. So when 11 people were expelled from the party, and I was already expelled last year. I was sitting home. I was not doing anything. I, in fact, did not issue even a statement against leadership because it was the decision of the leadership, and always an old saying, boss is right. Me and Mehbooba ji had differences over the approach, nothing personal. Personally grown together. She's a nice lady, nice family. Why should I say no? So we started building, pressure also built on me that few people who had aligned to my thought had been expelled from their parties. So we kept on talking within ourselves, what is the next step, and thought one fine day that no, we should, as a party, form a party which represents that how do we come out of this. And if you ask me, it was not a decision of the heart. It was not a decision of the mind, it was a decision of the heart. Because mind did not allow that something should be done. Because people were not prepared to listen anything. They are hurt. People in Jammu and Kashmir are hurt by what has been done on August 5, 2019.
Absolutely. Mr. Bukhari, I understand the philosophy behind your pragmatic and practical approach to politics in Jammu and Kashmir. But do you think, at a philosophical level, do you think the government of India should undo the constitutional changes that it carried out on August 5, 2019?
Look,
I'm referring to Article 370.
If you ask me, who would not wish that? Is it possible? It is possible only two ways. I'll answer this question also. Either the Supreme Court restores it, or there is a consensus between the political parties of Jammu and Kashmir. Political parties of India, not Jammu and Kashmir, sorry. Given the situation where BJP, Congress and other opposition parties do not see eye to eye each other, where is the question of consensus? And as far as Supreme Court, many of the political parties of Jammu and Kashmir are in the Supreme Court already. So, if it is granted by the Supreme Court, it will be granted to Apni party also and to all people who are in Apni party. We thought life should not stop.
Right, I understand. So one of the major arguments that the Apni party is making is restoration of statehood.
The core agenda of the party is restoration of statehood, domicile, protection of domicile rights on jobs and land.
Will the restoration of Article 370 and special status, will that be part of the party's plan as well or program as well or no?
No, look, that is in the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And since it's already under challenge in the Supreme Court, I did not want to tell my people that I will get you back that. Because I want to do an honest, absolutely an honest promise to my people that Apni party can do this. But having said that, I have not stopped others parties. Other political parties are free to get it. If they can do it, they may get it. We don't oppose it. We don't oppose their demand when they are asking.
Right.
But I don't want my people to be misled. Like in the 72 years, some people told them autonomy, some told them self-rule. The end was chaos, confusion,
So
death, destruction.
So you're basically saying that you'd like if the government of India restores the special status that was accorded to Jammu and Kashmir,
Yes.
but you don't think that is a possibility, and therefore you are focusing on what is possible and what is likely to happen.
I am talking of achievables. What is achievable? I am not talking of what is all of us wish.
That's right.
If wishes were horses, fishes would ride.
How do you view the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir today? I'm asking this question because when the government of India revoked Article 370, not really revoked Article, read down Article 370, it basically said that this move would prevent terrorism, usher in development, etc., etc. 1 year later, the numbers on the ground actually tell a very different story. Terror attacks have not stopped, infiltration has not stopped, ceasefire violations have increased, local youth is joining militancy. So do you think that the situation has improved or situation has deteriorated?
Now, in Jammu and Kashmir, what is the yardstick? What do you call normalcy? If we have to wait to call normalcy for the last bullet to stop, I think we'll have to wait for centuries.
Things have become worse.
I will not agree to that things have become worse. I will not agree to that.
Okay.
Look, people have shown sense. They have not come onto the streets. I compliment people for that because people behaved. So the security forces also behaved. They did not kill common men. But operations against the separatist elements have been going on. They've been going on before also. They've been going on after that also. As my personal reports go, I think local recruitment has come down.
Okay.
Local recruitment has come down because disillusionment. All the graveyards are full of youngsters. People are disillusioned. I should be honest, people are disillusioned with the mainstream politics. People are disillusioned with the separatist politics.
That's right. That's right.
So people have started thinking, what did we achieve? What have we achieved in 72 years?
So while people are disillusioned, there is still an emotional feeling in Jammu and Kashmir about Article 370.
This sentiment will never go. There is a sentiment.
So if you don't actively advocate for that, would the people of Kashmir think that you've sacrificed one of their core demands?
I am already blamed for that. Okay. I am facing that stigma I am facing, but I am trying to explain. Look, 4 months down the line, 8 March, I float my party. I think down the line today, after 5 months, I can tell you, people have understood that Apni Party and Altaf Bukhari are saying what is achievable by them, what is their truth. Finally, all the political parties have come around to the same thing. I did not want, honestly, I did not want to tell people what I could not do for them. I want to be clear, absolutely clear and honest. Maybe that is not politics to be honest, but I am not a politician.
If tomorrow the PDP, NC and the Congress take to the streets in Jammu and Kashmir asking for the restoration of special status, would the Apni Party join ranks with these protesters?
No, we will not come onto the streets. I don't believe in street protests because I don't want even one person to lose his life.
That's right. What is the likelihood of the restoration of statehood to Jammu and Kashmir? You've been meeting the Home Minister and the Prime Minister of India from time to time. What's your sense?
My sense is they are committed to it. They are committed to it. They have said it from the floor of the House. But the counter argument is many things have been said from the same floor of the House in the past. I believe that probably those things were not followed up. I am trying to follow it up like a businessman, a business-like approach, reminding them off and on that you have committed, please restore it, please restore it, please restore. I have been talking through the media, I have been talking through private conversations, I have been talking through the public platforms. And that, I am sure we will keep on trying to convince the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Home Minister and others that the statehood should be restored immediately.
Right. Mr. Bukhari, you said in a recent interview that I would be lucky to be called a man of Delhi in Kashmir. You know, one of the interpretations of that has been going on in social media is that you are perhaps a man of Delhi in Kashmir, but not a man of Kashmir in Kashmir. How do you sort of respond to that?
I do not consider it to be a
A contradiction?
contradiction, because unless you represent Kashmir in Delhi and Delhi in Kashmir, the contradiction for past 72 years has been when Kashmiri leaders came to Delhi, they did not represent Kashmir. And when they went back to Kashmir, they did not represent Delhi. A leader who leads in Jammu and Kashmir have to balance the sentiments of the both. There are sentiments of mainstream India, then there are sentiments of our own state. Primarily, we have to see that we are a part of India. We cannot, 1947 was the day when we could have chosen to be with India or not to be with India. That decision has been taken by the leaders. So now to take them back and forth is only making them confused, which they are today also. The biggest problem is Delhi does not want Kashmiris in Delhi. Kashmiris may think that I am Delhi's man in Kashmir, but Delhi does not think I am their man in Kashmir. So it is, do they need anybody? I don't think Delhi needs anybody as their man in Kashmir. They think only the lieutenant governors and the governors are their man in Kashmir.
Interesting. You know, Bukhari Sahab, Kashmiris have historically complained that New Delhi has a habit of propping up its own governments in Jammu and Kashmir. Be it the Congress government, be it various other governments or rigging elections, etc., etc. Do you think if you consider yourself to be Delhi's man in Kashmir, is there a danger of Kashmiris considering you to be another government that if your party comes to power tomorrow, of propped up by New Delhi, the powers that be in New Delhi?
I can assure you one thing, that Altaf Bukhari and Apni party does not believe in backdoor politics. Nobody can subvert democratic rights of the people. It is only Jammu and Kashmir residents who have been responsible for getting their rights subverted. If we boycott, Delhi can manipulate. If we participate, no earth on this universe can subvert their rights. So my request to the people of Jammu and Kashmir and my appeal to them is participate in large numbers. If you have this fear, if you want your own people to rule you, manipulations are possible when there is boycott politics. What does it give? It leads to people who have no base, like in the recently held panchayat elections or the municipal elections. So we can always, even if Delhi has a habit or it has a plan up their sleeves that they want to have their own propped up man there, people can always counter that through mass participation. And no one from Delhi can stop people from participating in elections. No one. Only residents of Jammu and Kashmir will decide whether they want to participate or they want to give a walkover to someone else.
Mr. Bukhari, what comes out very clearly in your conversation with me is that you believe in being honest about your politics. You are very clear as to what is achievable and what is not achievable, what is pragmatic and what is not pragmatic. So you don't believe in those big claims which you know will never be achieved, or at least according to you will never be achieved. You don't believe in street protests. You also don't think there should be any subversion of democracy in Jammu and Kashmir. What about joining hands with the BJP tomorrow? Should there be a requirement, like the PDP did join hands with the BJP to form a government in Jammu and Kashmir? Will the Apni party, if push comes to shove, join hands with the BJP to form a government in Jammu and Kashmir?
As of today, if you ask me, this is a hypothetical question, because we do not know when elections will be held. We do not know what this people will throw up. If I am to today go into an election, I think BJP is not in a very comfortable position even in Jammu, where it bagged last time 25 seats.
Interesting.
So the question of aligning with BJP, National Conference, PDP, Congress will arise only after an election is held.
But you don't rule that out.
I'll tell you, if you ask me, I hold all of them equally responsible for the mess in Jammu and Kashmir. And if the requirement of that time is, I will choose the lesser evil. I do not know who that lesser evil that would be.
So there are no saints in Jammu and Kashmir, and therefore there are no untouchables in politics in Jammu and Kashmir.
No, who is untouchable? At different points of time, different people have been aligning with A, B, C, D, E. All are friends. We are all friends at our personal levels. We are all friends, except few who choose not to publicly say that I know X, I know Y, I know Z. But in public life, you are all in the same business of selling your manifestos to people.
Mr. Bukhari, there are rumors that you have demanded that the central government should make you the caretaker chief minister in Jammu and Kashmir. Is that true? And do you have the political backing in Srinagar for that?
I will tell you very honestly, Altaf Bukhari does not believe in backdoor politics. Having said so, I do believe that the contact between the common man and the government is almost zero. People are facing hardships. The current advisors to the government, the current bureaucrats are insensitive, unapproachable. That is there. That is also a fact.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that Altaf Bukhari is trying to get a position through the back door. I am demanding an election, restoration of statehood and immediate election. I know delimitation is one of the reasons being said for election. It can be also, there can be an amendment, delimitation. We can have elections for 83 seats, for 7 seats which are to be increased. Those can be nominated for the first time. Later on, when the delimitation commission gives its award, so we can in the next election go by that. And if somebody tells me how is it possible, who believed on August 5, 2019, 370 could have been removed? So an amendment, another amendment. Anything is possible. In the interest of the people, anything is possible, and it is in the interest of the people. It is in the interest of this country that immediate elections in Jammu and Kashmir take place. Whosoever people choose will come.
Is that a possibility? You've been, as I said, you've been talking to various people in Delhi. What's your sense? Is that going to happen?
I will keep on asking. I will keep on whenever I.
But you have no assurance?
No, I absolutely no. I have no assurance. I'll be very honest. I have no assurance. But nobody can ask me, and don't ask for something which my people, because I want problems of my people to be addressed. I'll tell you, we have lost an identity. When you took away our state, we lost an identity.
Absolutely.
So give us back our identity. 370 will be decided by the Supreme Court. Whatever it comes as it is the final court. It is the final court in this country. So I am not asking for something. I am not promising my people that I will get you back, but I am not stopping any political party from asking so.
Sure. Is the APNI party a leaders only party, or does it also have some mass base? Does it have some support base?
How do leaders become? Do leaders become without mass base?
But many people have come from various parties to form the APNI party. What is its base among people at this point?
Look, I'll tell you very honestly. What was PDP?
You tell me.
What was PDP? It was also an amalgam of different political leaders from different political parties. Mufti Muhammad Said carefully picked them up, made them into an organization, and unfortunately, soon after his death, it disintegrated. So, it cannot be said that different leaders from different political parties, when they join hands, why did they join hands? Not for power, because people of Jammu and Kashmir are facing a problem. The leaders of current political parties chose silence. Is silence an answer? Problems of people will not stop. I know the argument is we were behind bars. We were under house arrest. Did people stop? Did these leaders stop meeting their own relatives? Did they stop meeting their own friends? Did they stop expelling their leaders? If that politics could be played, if politics of statements could be played, why not speak about the problems of people? Problems of people do not stop. Common man has problems. Who will represent them? If not at this time, then when? In normalcy, nobody needs you. It's only in abnormal times people will need us. This is my belief. People may say he is wrong. They have a right to their opinion. I have a right to my opinion.
What is the political program of the Apni party? Is it planning to reach out to the disgruntled, disillusioned youth in the Kashmir Valley, in downtown Srinagar?
I'll tell you, my core agenda is restoration of statehood, domicile, rights on jobs and lands, development of the state, youth, addressing the problems of the youth.
What about peace and reconciliation, conflict resolution?
I tell you very honestly, it has been always on the agenda, manifestos only. What is our role in it? Even in the instrument of accession, we gave away foreign affairs, defense and communication to Government of India. So when we speak, maybe in an advisory capacity, the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir can advise the Prime Minister or the Defense Minister or the Home Minister that this is what is my opinion about this thing. But making a public statement is only for the consumption of local people. It does not hold any legal or moral right. I believe these types of suggestions can yield better results if you, in a private conversation, talk with your Prime Minister that my people suffer because there is cross-border firing. Instead of making it publicly, where no Prime Minister will take orders from a state Chief Minister.
You said that you don't fancy yourself to be Sheikh Abdullah of Kashmir, but you've said that you'd like to see yourself as the contemporary Bakshi Ghulam Muhammad. What makes you say that? Because Bakshi also has a bad reputation.
I tell you what, this is
of patronage,
this is where a journalistic mind works. When I said vis-a-vis his development model. Nobody in Kashmir disputes his development model.
But it comes as a package. It comes as a package. I mean, he did develop Kashmir perhaps, but there was also other things that were not very good about it.
If you ask me honestly, if you see in the background of what happened on August 5, 2019, I think Bakshi Sahab had seen this coming in 1953.
Interesting.
Maybe the media was not as active then as it is today. If media was as active, media would have reported then also that he had seen this coming on that day. And he probably thought that it's better to tell your people today than tell them 70 years down the line. 70 years down the line, we are saying the same thing. अपने हाथ काट के दे दिए 1947 में, उसके बाद क्या ढूंढ रहे हो?
That's right. That's right. You spoke about cross-border firing. What is your opinion about the cross-LOC's confidence-building measures that were put together during the PDP Congress regime?
First of all, I would like to contradict this. I don't think it was PDP Congress regime. It was the central government always. It chose to build peace with its neighbors. It did it. If the state government takes credit for something...
But Mufti Sahab did play a role in sort of supporting and,
I said I am no Mufti Sahab. Mufti Sahab was a tall leader in his own right. So I cannot... and I am not privy to what role he must have played. But having said so, I believe today also when there is cross-border firing, it is only the residents of Jammu and Kashmir who suffer. And I can challenge today, there is nobody in this country other than the residents of J&K who every day sacrifice their life for this country.
That's true.
And we did not get anything in return as residents of Jammu and Kashmir for these sacrifices which we are giving every day for this country.
So what is Apni Party's position on those cross-border CBMs? People
my
travel.
take on this is this country should build relations with its neighbors because to save us from death and destruction. Peace is paramount for the development of Jammu and Kashmir.
So it is desirable that India
Yes,
reaches out to
yes,
Pakistan.
yes, it is desirable. It is desirable. Peace is paramount for Jammu and Kashmir. Without peace, we are the targets. Now you see China. Who is the sufferer? I don't think anybody in Delhi is sufferer. Sufferer is Jammu and Kashmir.
That's right.
Even though Ladakh has been amputed from us, but we are still the sufferers.
So when you say statehood should return to Jammu and Kashmir, does it also mean that the two union territories should come together as one state?
Look, I would wish that would have been a dream come true.
Okay.
But I don't think this situation. When I speak about only the two provinces of Jammu and Kashmir. And Apni Party is trying to work as a bridge between Jammu and Kashmir because today there are no separate agendas. Like Jammu always had apprehensions about Kashmiri leaderships. Because Kashmiri leaders wanted autonomy, self-rule, and those were divisive agendas. Today we don't have a divisive agenda. Jammu people want statehood, they want restoration of their jobs and land, everything rights to be protected. Kashmiris want that. This is within the sub-regions also, whether it is Doda, Kishtawar, Poonch, Rajouri, Srinagar, Kupwara, your Anantnag, everybody wants. So I am talking of being a bridge between people of Jammu and Kashmir also. Because there are both the regions want development. And let me share it. Because in COVID, we just came out in COVID, we have got a tremendous response from Jammu. Tremendous response from Jammu, honestly I tell you, because maybe this is because also of the fact that the local BJP unit there is not coming up to the aspirations of the people there, because unlike in Kashmir where people believe that Delhi is ruling, in Jammu people believe BJP is ruling. Right. And when the local BJP leadership is not able to attend to their day-to-day problems and nobody else other than us is speaking, so they think we are the only voice raising genuine demands. And we have got many demands addressed also, not that we raised, like on the domicile on jobs. When Government of India decided to do away with all jobs, only class 4th for the residents of Jammu and Kashmir, I did raise a voice, my party did raise a voice, the Prime Minister had committed, and within 24 hours they did change it. And I am thankful to the Honorable Home Minister and the National Security Advisor. Likewise, there were small issues, like there are issues 202, SRO 202, this was jobs given for 5 years you were working on paltry sums. It was unfortunate. BJP government, PDP BJP government had this sort of a program for employment of youth. We got it removed. Then we talk of border residents, their reservations were not there. Then the mining sector, our mining, sand mining, stone mining has been given away to non-residents. Maybe they got some more revenue, but 20 lakh people are involved in it. Nobody raised that issue. We raised the issue. I'm happy that the state administration responded, and we are trying to see. What I am trying to tell you, we are raising a small issue, we are raising a big issue. Right. We are trying to raise every issue. We are participating in the outreach program of the Lieutenant Governor. My all leaders are, and we are not asking for something for ourselves, people's. So this is an answer to you. Where is your support base? Support base comes from the areas, because if I have ex-MLAs supporting me, ex-ministers supporting me, they were the leaders of those particular areas.
That's right. That's right. Mr. Bukhari, wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
To receive instant updates on all videos from The Wire, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Pay to support independent journalism. Click the link in the description and choose the amount you want to pay.